Hey everybody, so I just want to do a video on overanalyzing Runerigus, and so it's just talking about what does he actually look like in the Pokemon world, and so yeah, why not, share it with everybody. So of course, in order to talk about Runerigus, have to start off with Yamask, and so there isn't much we can go off of Runerigus' Yamask, but we can talk about Cofagrigus' Yamask and picture some stuff. And so Yamask is once human, and it forgets its origin over time. This kind of can be seen by once it loses that death mask it's always carrying, it then becomes more animalistic. Along with it, it's inherently passive, and so it spends a lot of time crying and just laying about. It's not wanting to attack or be seen. It's kind of suggested to be made off of culture, because, like I talked about, that death mask, it's only been present, when there is a death mask, so it can only appear hypothetically in cultures that have this, and it's attached to spirit, so that means it's a spirit that basically is like the remnant of a person, or at least whatever is connected to this item. So while Runerigus is the evolution, it's also been there since the beginning. It is the cursed slabs that Yamask carries around. It convinces it to grab it, to put it back together, and over time it's feeding off of Yamask's energy. It changes its behavior, such as making it more aggressive. We see this Yamask be described as vengeful. It isn't seen as passive, and then eventually it just kind of almost uses it like a puppet, where it takes basically full control of it. Again, kind of like this cordyceps fungus, that it takes control, it changes the behavior of the ant, and then it's a host. As for the cursed slab's origin, there's two options. The first one is that it's actually from the same region as Cofagrigus, which would be kind of ancient Egyptian mythology, and the slabs would be of a snake. That is something big in Egyptian mythology. It's often seen with kings, so it could have been that this was a slab that was kind of in like grave robbing, and it was given from one king, well, stolen from one king to another king of Central Europe. When that kingdom fell, it's just now finally free. It was probably always vengeful, because it's bad to, take anything from Egyptian kings. The other option, of course, is that it's actually a lined worm, and so a lined worm is a Central European myth of a serpent-like dragon that what it actually does is it's always trying to attack other things. It expands its territory constantly. Anything it goes over becomes richer. So a kingdom very well could have used this as a representation of itself. When it fell, which we know it did because there's all the ruins in the watchtower area, then this could have been actually like another attached spirit that really attached itself to the idea of the lined worm, and so now it feeds off of other ghosts in order to, continue its, well, kind of, guess, manifest destiny kind of thing. So at least that's what I think's more likely, but anyways. So going back to talking about Runerigus and Yamask, so they're almost like the tongue isopod, and so in that sense the isopod replaces a fish's tongue. It uses it, basically for mobility and for food while the fish becomes weaker. And we kind of see the same here, like Yamask is slower. It is more durable and it is stronger, but it is slower. Along with that, if it's always having, some energy siphoned, I imagine it is weaker in some ways. But it does get that extra durability, and Runerigus itself gets mobility and easier access to food if it ever chooses to move on to another host, which it might have to do. Going on into environment, before it has Yamask, we know that Runerigus kind of can't move, and so it would just be in that watchtower region. But once it has Yamask, that's when it, gains mobility, and it can go more places. I don't think it would be going that many different places, because it does feed off of Yamask's energy, so it's probably going to look for other spirits like it. That's why it attached itself. And so it's probably looking for stuff that is similar, and that would be ghosts of similar time frames. So that kind of still limits it to the Watchtower region. Along with it, it kind of was only able to get Yamask by appealing to it, and so it has to find other human things that it can appeal to. And so going over to its behavior, so Runerigus, it's already shown when it was mutating kinda Yamask that it's aggressive, so we can imagine that it's only even more aggressive now. It probably is an ambush predator when you consider how slow it is and that it's gotten Yamask by being enticing, then it probably just waits for stuff to get close enough so it can grab it. I imagine it might be territorial. If it's following the lined worm myth, then it would be something that doesn't want stuff going anywhere near where it stays. And if it's gonna be trying to, like, continue hunting for other stuff, then it does have to be, like, appealing. And so this might be in the sense that it stays very still, waiting for something to grab it. Who knows? Its diet's a little weird, but either ways, Runerigus itself is parasitic, so it just feeds off of energy of ghosts, kind of like their blood, while Yamask itself is probably an omnivore because most Pokemon are listed as an omnivore. You can give them almost anything, so at least that's kind of easy. And so, going into this section of why is it that Cofagrigus and Runerigus are so different, well, the simple answer just would be that Runerigus is like, a predator, something that wasn't found in the same areas as Cofagrigus. So this doesn't even have anything to do related to Cofagrigus. It's actually just, a host for another creature. And so it's not even related anymore to them, really. The other idea would be kind of just different cultures. I mean, one reason Yamask could be a vengeful spirit doesn't even have to be from the influence of Runerigus, and that, if this was Central Europe that did, death masks, which seems to be the only way that Yamask exists, Central Europe would have done it possibly for the reason of phrenology, so this wouldn't have been something out of respect for the dead. This would have been a faulty practice that is saying that, yeah, your head shape equals this kind of criminal and stuff like that, or that you were never going to be successful. Ghosts don't like that. They attach themselves as a vengeful spirit to said death mask, and they eventually counter a tablet that says it can give them stuff. But thank you for watching.